the appointed one who is set aside for the work of God. And I always say, whoever you are, there is a position, there is a place, there is some work that God has ordained for you. Samson was even the conception of Samson was a very special one. And we are going to look at how Samson is conceived, because it was not an ordinary conception, because an angel has to come for Samson to be born. Back to the point, the teachings and the learnings and the application of the death of Samson. One, you must know that you have a mission. Number two, your mission, you don't define, you don't determine, and you don't know what you are supposed to do, because it's God who has ordained and who has anointed and sanctified you and set you apart just even before you are born. Samson didn't know, but he was raised by his parents, and God knew exactly. God knows your mission. God will reveal it, and God will bring it out. When Samson is mature enough, he is aware, and he clearly became aware of his mission. So one, God is the one who determines our missions. God is the one who determines what we are going to do. He's the one who will guide us, empower us, and walk with us. God will walk with Samson. God's mission for Samson was to rescue, was to defend, and was to subdue the Philistine. There are certain behaviors, people, places, things that will come our way, and unless we stand up and unless we rise up strongly, we cannot subdue and we cannot overcome some of these things that will come our ways, disrupt our ways, our families, our children, our country, our communities, whatever it is that may come. Another point we learn is that God is the one who, of course, anoints Samson. He will walk with him, he will guide him, and he had a physical. God will physically bless you, even physically, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And we are told Samson was mighty and strong. Yes. And this is why Delilah is attracted to Samson. Now, the other mistake Samson does is that though he knew he was a Jew, though you know you are a Christian, you are a child of God, there are certain people, group of people, issues, work that depends on you, and they look up into you for their rescue, and God is aware of that one. Samson knew the whole of Israel was looking up to him because he was a judge, Samson. But he never honored that one. He never honored that one. It is good to know and always to take stock and look back. Who am I? Where am I going? Where am I going strong? What is this that I'm doing wrong? How can I correct it? Samson never took stock of who he was and what he was required to do. Another thing we see about Samson is that after he entered into the enemy's camp, he allowed himself to befriend, to be lured, and to sleep and to eat with the enemy. That is Delilah. That one we must know. What is the boundary? What is the extent? And I think it is foolishness to imagine we don't have enemies. Even Jesus himself, Jesus Christ, had enemies all over. In fact, they eventually captured him, and he willingly died. Because the mission he had come for, it was not his will, but the will of God. And this is why he says on the cross, Father, unto you are able, and to your hands I give my spirit. So Samson, we see, he has a mission, but he went right into. Another one is that when he's praying, the prayers that actually betrayed him, He does not focus on God. He does not remember his mission. He does not even recognize that surely he was in the wrong hands, in the wrong company, among the wrong people, and surrounded by the enemy. And he does not even ask God, God, I pray that I repent, ask that forgive me. I have wronged, I have gone astray, I have disobeyed you, I have betrayed my people, I have disobeyed my parents. Samson does not do that one. The prayer, he says, God, give me strength once more, that I may kill these people, these Philistines, for what they have done. And what did they do to Samson? They gouged out. They plucked his eyes out. He's not even praying that, God, I pray that I have failed you, Lord. That, Lord, give me strength, restore back, energize me, that my Father, the strength I'll give and the power and the might you'll give me back, I may destroy the enemies of Israel, that I may honor you, that I may accomplish your mission. But Samson says, Samson says, and this is the prayer that he makes, and he says this one, God, I pray, that is Judges chapter 16 and verses 426. Then Samson prayed, Sovereign Lord, please remember me, please. Give me my strength just once more, so that with this one blow, I can get even. So the issue of Samson was to get even, to revenge for himself. I can get even with the Philistines for not for disobeying you, God, not for disappointing, betraying my people, but for putting out my two eyes. And then he says, as he's dying, let me die with these Philistines. Let me die with this Philistine. So Samson also was ready to die. The things we don't. And as a Christian, we push on. And Samson, I would say, because it's analysis, Samson would have said, God, give me strength, restore back my power, restore back my ability, restore back the favor, the grace, the mercy from you, that my Father, I may do what is right, and that my Father, the glory, the honor may go back to you. Let the enemies of your people be destroyed. And I refuse to die, and I refuse to give in, and I refuse to surrender, and I refuse, to be subdued by the enemies. But Samson prays, let me die. Now look at that. When things come, look at the woman, the Shunammite woman, and you're told, Abraham never gave in, and Abraham never lost hope. He's called by the age of around 75, and he'll get the child, Isaac, when he's over 90 to 100 years. Those who are over 20 years, patience, walking, and waiting. And I would think Abraham would walk and say to himself, God, I know you're going to give me a child. God, I know you are faithful God. You are truthful God. You are God of mercy. You never lie. And Abraham never. So may God help us. Thank you.